everybody. Jamie Austin here, and welcome back to Real Estate of Mind. We love having you here. Today's special guest is a very special one. It is Genevieve Trousdale, and it is from Circa. She is the founder and principal of Circa Genevieve Interior Design. So we have actually, my real estate partner and I have actually had the pleasure of actually seeing Genevieve's work firsthand in a listing that we had this year, and it was really exciting because we got to not only meet her outside just as a human being, what inspired her, why she did what she does, and then we got to see her work literally in a house, and it was really exquisite. So Genevieve, if it's okay, we're just going to jump right in, and I'm going to start asking you some questions if that's all right.
Thank you. Sounds great, Jamie. I really enjoy being here with you today, and I'm excited to jump right in.
Yay, yay, yay. Well, I know that you've really done lots of projects, large and small. So I'm always curious, like when a buyer walks into a home, because I imagine you've got to have your kind of radar attuned to a lot of things.
Yeah.
But when a buyer walks into a home, what elements do you think influence them emotionally, like maybe even before they've realized it?
Yeah, I love this question because so much of what I do and what a home does for people is in your emotions, is your subconscious talking to you. So when people walk into a space, whether it be a restaurant or a home or wherever, I think it's not that they're evaluating, finishes or, oh, this room is big, the square footage. I think they're really reacting to how it makes them feel. So it is
Exactly.
about how much natural light is coming into the spaces or the lack thereof.
Exactly.
That the exposure of natural light in a home has such health benefits on you.
I've actually had people say, some clients say they like darker, and some say I cannot survive in a dark place.
Yes, yes.
The more light, the better. Yeah.
I think it's about, the ceiling height also, that's your fifth wall, like the
Hmm.
space, the volume of the room, the flow of one room to the next. And sometimes with that can come, older homes might have some quirky angled walls
Oh,
or,
for sure.
curved walls. Really, things that might overwhelm someone when they're thinking, okay, I'm putting my sofa here and there's no room for this, and it kind of feels all of a sudden a little claustrophobic, maybe.
Yeah.
So,
I think of some of those stone cottages like in England,
yeah.
like in Europe, where people were smaller, the spaces were smaller, and I'm like, I walk in and I'm 5'9", flat-footed, and I feel like, oh my God, this would drive me nuts.
Yes, yes. I think that if there's a fireplace, the way that kind of element could anchor a space that creates an emotional response. Does that
You
make you
bet.
want to like cozy up with a, hot coffee and a blanket, or do you not want to be doing that in that room? So
Yeah, exactly.
it's totally different for each person. I think also color plays a huge role
Hmm.
too.
Oh, yeah.
And I guess depending on, if the property is staged or whatever the case may be, the walls might be purple or
Right.
red.
Well, as a real estate broker, we like to kind of go with a neutral palette to allow people's creativity to come in.
Yeah.
But I imagine as an interior designer, you get to take the neutrality out and go, what is this room's purpose going to serve? Do you want to be energized here? Do you want to feel peaceful here? That kind of thing.
Yes, I think our brains process color instantly, and it can make, the home feel inviting, sophisticated, or really uncomfortable, or
Yeah.
so I feel like those things really can elicit strong emotion when walking through a house.
That's a great point. So that kind of leads into the next question, which is like, why do you think some homes may look expensive or cheap? Could be either or, given even that they might be the same size and the same price.
Oh, yes. Well, I think that great design doesn't have to be expensive. I think that the the difference is never really about how much money you're spending, it's where you're spending it. Um, and in most great homes, the kitchens and the bathrooms, those are the workhorses of homes. So that's certainly kind of a place where I spend it when I work with clients. But I think homes that feel luxurious have, thoughtful proportions. They have layered materials, real quality in the details, like solid hardware. You feel that when you turn a doorknob.
Oh,
It's not like,
yes.
this, you can feel the hollowness.
Right. You
Uh,
can hear the tinniness in the door shutting where it's
yeah.
still shutting when we've closed it.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's, beautiful paint. It's the
Hmm.
lighting that creates the atmosphere. And I think ironically, chasing trends and building a house off of a, Pinterest trend
Oh,
story is often what dates a home the fastest. And
oh, interesting. Yeah.
I think that
I
can
can see
make
that.
it feel cheap fast. I
Hmm.
think timeless choices are always going to feel more elevated and supported, over the years.
Absolutely. And that actually kind of leads into the next question. If you walked into a home and you had $5,000 to spend, it doesn't matter whether it's a condo in New York or whatever, or a house, a house here in the Hollywood Hills or whatever,
Mhm.
where would you spend it first, do you think? If that was your budget.
Yeah, I would. I am such a stickler about lighting, creating
Mm,
lighting layers, whether that,
wow.
it starts from if you can bear recessed cans.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah,
I usually don't like to do them at all, but
yeah.
can lighting, decorative lighting in the form of a pendant, um, and then having some kind of sconce lighting to
Hmm.
kind of lower the layers, and then just having table lamps and floor lamps. I think that having that the layering is creates that feeling of luxury. It creates warmth, comfort, sexiness, like you're at a
Hmm.
hotel bar, or
Yeah.
I think that is really the ticket to
I
making
am
it
feeling what you're throwing down because there's not a single time I like to walk into a bar or a restaurant and I like that bright overhead light. It's like,
right.
it's assaulting. And I don't like it in my home either.
Yes, assaulting, that's a good word for it.
Little do we know lighting could be assaulting, but it is to my eyes. Like there's no fluorescent lighting in my house, and even the LED lights, which I know that everybody, I still like the look of incandescent light, right?
Yes.
It's better on my eyeballs. So I know that they now have found better solutions for that. But that white LED light used to really bother my eyes, and I would just never gravitate towards it. It was nuts.
Yeah, there's a new kind of lighting out. It's called warm dim,
Ooh,
that you can use in your recess lights. That
yay,
it not only whenever they dim down, they maintain the same color temperature, so that it's not
yay.
like you're losing light. It's like you still have good light, but it's warm. It's that same temperature. So
Oh, I love that. I just learned something new today, and I love it when I learn something new. I do, I do. I love it. What would you say would be the most important advice that you would give to a new home buyer that's just starting out? Because I would assume like most new home buyers they're just like, oh my God, I just got the loan or we've spent everything on this. Like the thought of also on top of that hiring an interior designer may seem, maybe untenable for some people. But
Mhm.
I bet you've got a way that you could still help people. And what would be your best advice to those people?
Yeah, I would say to leave room in your budget to actually live beautifully. I see so many people stretch financially to buy the biggest house they can afford, for for everyone to come visit and entertain,
Yeah.
and then you need a this room and a that room, and it can grow, beyond, and then you only to discover that you have nothing left to furnish it thoroughly,
Right.
thoughtfully.
Yeah.
And
Oh, that's a good point.
a
That's a
furnishings
really good
budget
point.
can really add up more than people think. I mean, custom
Oh,
window treatments are incredibly expensive. They take so much
hmm.
yardage of fabric. Um, and a huge part of my budgets that I build out for clients is freight, sales tax, receiving, installing. That all of that can easily be
Wow.
30% of a furnishings budget.
Wow.
And
Wow. I bet
so,
there'd be a lot of people out there that had no idea.
no,
They think they're paying for the design and maybe the elements themselves, like the lamp or the couch or the whatever.
right, right.
And it's all of the others. Yep.
Yes, you have to factor it all in. I'd rather see someone buy a slightly smaller home and fill it with pieces they'll love for decades,
I love
and
that.
then having like this gorgeous shell of a home, and then you have a cheap sofa and a dinky little coffee table.
Right.
And
And
it's,
proportionate wise, it doesn't fit, and you're like, oh, and then they're like, yay, come over. And
yeah,
yeah,
yes.
I totally understand it. That makes sense. And so even with that, so tell me an example of a project where you met with the homeowner and they wanted one thing, but then you quickly discovered really that they needed something completely different.
Hmm. That's really a great reminder that good design isn't about buying more. It's really like you have to identify the root of the problem, like why are they really asking for that, and spending money in that solution. And so sometimes it is like taking several steps back from what they're asking for. And I remember several years ago, I did a project in Palos Verdes. I live in the South Bay, and this lady called me in, and she had a laundry list of things she wanted to tackle, paint in this room, hardware in that room. It was like things all over the house. And it wasn't like one single kind of, new concept for one room. And so I specifically remember in the dining room, she said, I need a new light fixture. And I said, okay, well, I will give you two options for all of these things. I'm gonna give you one that, you want, and then one that you need.
Oh,
And
oh, I love it.
and maybe we can meet somewhere in the middle if that doesn't work out budget wise, but and I'm gonna tell you why, and I think you'll understand once we get to that. But so she asked for the light fixture, and she had these really beautiful, it was like a hacienda style home,
Uh-huh.
and they had like modern furniture. They had just moved from San Francisco. They also had Victorian furniture, so it was a really
Ooh,
cool mix that I got to play with. But
yeah.
so they had ceiling beams throughout the house, and they were all this kind of aqua color. And I said, first of all, we have to refinish the beams. I think you
Yeah.
are being, kind of very off put by the color of the beams.
Hmm.
And they really need to be this color because that relates to, this hacienda style. Look at your
Right, right.
furnishings. They're all warm tones. And so I said, can we please, can we start with refinishing the beams to a beautiful classic, brown coloring? And so that's kind of where it started. There were other things that we changed in the room, like we changed this wallpaper that she is just in love with so much to this day. And but it's
Awesome.
like, okay, the new fixture is going to reflect light up onto the ceiling with those aqua beams, and you
You're
really
going to feel like you're in an aquarium.
yes. So you have to really, look at the room as a whole, rather than just kind of band-aiding things because,
Yeah,
yeah, if you put it up,
that makes
okay, you're
total
gonna have to
sense.
fix that too.
That makes
So,
absolute sense.
yeah.
Well, and then also before we wrap up, I always really like asking a couple of personal questions that have really more to do with you and
Okay.
less to do with your business.
Okay.
So I always love to ask this question, like, was there a house or a room or a place where you entered that completely changed your life?
Yes, I think, and that was when I first moved to Los Angeles. I'm from
Oh,
Louisiana, and I moved out here to follow my interior design career, and
I love that. Where in Louisiana?
from New Orleans.
Yay! One of my favorite cities. I'm a Texas girl, so one of my favorite cities in the whole wide world is New Orleans.
It's a little foreign country.
Yep, it is indeed.
Yes. So when I first moved out here, I worked with a designer as an assistant, work from the bottom up. And I went into a home with her to help with a photo shoot. It was in Beverly Hills and, of course, really nice home. And they were
Mhm.
shooting it for Elle Decor magazine. And the editor was there, and it was a real big deal. And I had no idea whose home I was walking into. And I'm going up the stairs and just really everywhere. There were frames of people and then there were Muppets in the frame.
Ah, oh, how
And
funny.
I'm going, this is really odd. They have like a thing for the Muppets. Okay, no, it's Jim
Jim Henson's
Henson's
house.
house. It's the creator.
I love that. That's
Um,
amazing.
and
Oh, how
so
cool.
I mean, of course, yes, the home had really incredible details. It was
Oh,
very
I bet.
Spanish. Lots of things were hand painted, and that's when I really knew, okay, like I have arrived and I
Found
have
home.
got a job to do in more ways than
Yeah,
one. It was like setting the tone for my career and
I love that.
yeah, that really changed like kind of the trajectory of my thought process about my
I love that, and what a special home to visit. I've over the years, because my original first office was in Beverly Hills, and I did get to see some really interesting homes over the years, like in the flats, the Truesdale Estates, like all over Bel Air, all over. When you get to step into one of those time capsules, it's really amazing.
hmm
Really amazing. And the last question I will ask you is, are you in your forever home now? And if so, how did you know you were there? And if not, and if the forever home represents the next chapter, what's the next chapter are you envisioning?
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't know if I'm in my forever home. I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. We love the South Bay. We're in Hermosa Beach, and
Oh, yeah.
we live
Lovely.
just a couple blocks from the water, and everything you would need is in walking distance.
Yeah.
And and it's a great spot. I would like more privacy, but it's
I hear you because listen, I've lived and I live near the beach as well, and it is sort of like living in a fishbowl. And
yes.
even though you get that convenience and the water and the loveliness of that, I mean, we had people stare up in our window like 24, like walking their dogs all day long. Just, and I was like, oh, hello, hello. It can be a little off-putting a little bit. So I can totally understand that.
Yeah, yeah. So we have my husband and I have this conversation all the time just for fun, okay, put a
Yeah.
budget aside. What would you do to this if this were ours? And so, yeah, I mean, I think if the opportunity arose, I would like to buy it, but I don't think it's forever. I can't imagine what forever is right now. I don't know. I would love
Yeah,
to have
yeah. And
the,
you know what? And forever could be forever for the next 5 years. You
yeah,
know, I have a lot of clients say, nope, I'm in my forever home. And then life happens, right?
yeah,
Kids, family, job change, just lifestyle change. And so your forever home, that even if that was your intention, you are allowed to change your mind.
yes. And I would love to someday have a second home in Europe somewhere.
Ah,
So,
we have a mutual person that we know that does have that, and that is really lovely. And I have thought that as well. And it
yes.
was nice because my husband and I took a big trip, and we were in Barcelona and Paris, and he was like, "Oh, I could see how having a second home here would be really amazing."
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's something that we keep in the back of our minds too.
Mhm.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time today.
This was
And I would love for people to know how to contact you because you are definitely elevated, you are lovely, and your sense of style and taste is amazing. So anybody would be really lucky to get to have you as an interior designer. So why don't you tell them how they can get to you?
Oh, thank you. That's so sweet. I am active on Instagram. My handle is Circa Genevieve. I have a great website, circagenevieve.com. You can reach out to me. You can DM me. I would love to hear from you about anything. If you're thinking about a paint color or, whatever it may be. I really enjoy meeting new people and creating relationships, and that's really important to me. So, love to hear from you. Thank you so much, Jamie, for having me today.
You bet. It's my pleasure. And thank you, everybody, for coming back to Real Estate of Mind. We are always trying to reach out, bring you content that's informational, but yet entertaining about the real estate world. It doesn't have to always be about that, but you know what? There's so many interesting facets to what I do and what all of these amazing people and vendors that we work with and just get to know that it just makes hopefully buying the home buying process a little less scary and a lot more fun and interesting. And if there's something that I haven't covered, reach out to us, like and subscribe on our YouTube channel, Real Estate of Mind. And if we don't have it, we'll look it up and we'll try to find it for you. So thanks again for coming by. Jamie Austin, your host of Real Estate of Mind. Until next time.